Doctor Who started for me, as far as I can remember, this might be inaccurate, but I think my earliest Doctor Who memory is of watching the Christmas omnibus repeat of Genesis of the Daleks, which was, I think, December the 28th, as I have looked this up, 1975. I remember it was that because I was in the front room, and we only ever used the front room at Christmas in my old house when I was very young, because my grandmother was like that, kept the front room for best. And I remember the set of the coloured laboratory, that sort of grey, silvery set. And I know it was Christmas because I was in the front room. I don't remember Doctor Who before then. I might have seen it before then. I don't remember, but that's my earliest memory. So I was born in 1972, so I was 3 and a bit then. So that's, yeah, and from then I was a Doctor Who fan, as everyone was. Well, not everyone, but most people were in those days. And it was the thing to watch, and just, you know, from then on, my mind is complete with being a Doctor Who fan. Always watched it. Did get distracted by Star Wars in the mid-70s, everyone was, but then came back to it when that was all over. So yeah, always loved it. And then in about 1983, 82, I met someone at school, a chap at school, who was a Doctor Who fan nut, and he sort of really got me into it because we used to chat about it, and he used to get Doctor Who weekly, or I might have gone monthly by then, I don't know. And then everyone was very excited with the 5 Doctors and the 20th anniversary, so that really kick-started my Whovianness proper. And then in '85 I went to my first convention in Brighton, so that was really what did it, the Panopticon one. So yeah, that's where my Doctor Who fanness comes from, really, and it's never gone away. As for acting, I had never had a notion or an idea to be an actor. It wasn't in the family, as it were. But when I was at school in the 6th form, I'm talking about 1988 here, I went into the 6th form and I was very relieved, because if you didn't want to play rugby anymore, which is something I didn't like doing, you could go and do something else. And one of the other things you could do was go and build the sets for the school plays, which are run by a wonderfully theatrical chap who's no longer with us, called John Offord. And he came to the 6th form assembly and said, he was very much a man of the theatre. He said, if you don't want to play rugby anymore, you can come out and build the sets for the school plays if you wish. And so, oh, thank God for that, no more sport. So I went along and volunteered for that, and he said, oh, do you want to do a bit of acting? Your voice sounds nice. I said, oh, I'll give it a go. And he cast me in a play, and that was it. As soon as I started, I thought, oh, I had no idea this was in me, and I love it, and I've never stopped since then, really. When was that play on? 1989, March 1989. I did that. It was a good play, First of War play, so I got a uniform as well. Good night. So that's that. And then, yeah, from doing that, I joined a couple of local amateur societies and did a lot of plays and things. And then in about 1991, there was an advert in the paper. There was a theatre company starting up. This was when the arts centre scene was big and popular, and there was lots of stuff on at local arts centres. And at the Portsmouth Arts Centre, the director, Hugh Jones, who ran it, was starting up a theatre company, a proper professional theatre company. Well, semi-professional, and they were doing Gone with the Wind, and we put an advert in the paper for actors, and I applied for that, and I got a part in that. And again, never looked back, because that was my first professional job I did. And then at the same time, or a couple of years later, there was another advert for another company, advertising, and I joined them. So I was doing sort of semi-professional work with professional directors, and that's how I really got into it and learned how to do things and what could work. So that's what kick-started really my idea of doing shows in a different way, and being part of a proper company. And we used to tour around the local area and nationally, and we did shows at the Edinburgh Festival and all that sort of thing. It was a very exciting time. And then I thought I want to do more. I want to direct and create. That's because Hugh, the director, and Brendan, who ran the other company, they were very forward-thinking sort of directors, and used not avant-garde stuff, but it was done in a way that wasn't a box set play from French's. They used to write their own stuff, and they said you can do anything on stage, and that's what kick-started my ethos of how to do theatre. And so I decided I wanted to do it full time, and I then went to college. I went to local drama college to sort of get a bit trained up. And whilst I was there, I thought I'd like to write and direct. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a whole thing. That was the thing that started to attract me, not just perform, but make something. And I started writing, and I wrote a play about Sherlock Holmes tracking down Jack the Ripper. And from some of my colleagues at drama school and friends and people I'd known in other companies and family, we got together, we raised some money, and we put the play on. That was in February 1996. It was called The Profane Autumn of Sherlock Holmes, and I played Dr. Watson in that. A good, spooky, dark story. And that was my first proper directing thing I did, writing. And by a funny coincidence, and this is how Doctor Who started, the art centre that we did it at, Portsmouth Art Centre, had sold too many tickets for our show. And because we'd really pushed the publicity, I had a big display in the library and everything, and everyone was very keen because it was our first big thing. We'd sold out, but we'd sold something like 60 too many tickets. They were a lot, and they had to put extra rows out in the front. And they said, "We're terribly sorry." I said, "No, don't be sorry, you know," because the art centre used to seat 90 people, and we had like 120 seats out, so we were really crammed in, but it didn't matter. So we ended up with a profit, and we thought, we didn't expect to make a profit. We hoped to break even and cover the costs. But we had some money in the bank at the end, and we thought, we might do another show. Let's think about it. And then a few weeks later, I got a phone call from the new director at the Portsmouth Art Centre, Nick Young, and he said, "A company's had a cancellation in October. Do you want it? Because I know you said you might do something else." And I said, "Oh yeah, we'll take it. We were thinking what to do. If we've got a date, we can aim towards that, and hurrah." He said, "Okay, great. So we'll book you in for that in October." He said, "Any idea what you want to do?" And of course I hadn't really thought, and just off the top of my head I said, "Doctor Who." There was this pause, and he said, "Okay," and he wrote it down, and that was it. And I thought, oh, I've done that now. I hadn't even got approval or anything, or a script or anything. So I thought, oh, that'd be nice. I've done Sherlock Holmes, one of my other great passions. Can we do Doctor Who? So, and this was obviously around the time the Paul McGann movie was coming out, so it was 96, March, April 96. That was May, not in May, I think, wasn't it? Paul McGann. So I was a bit excited about it. Maybe that's why I said Doctor Who, I don't know. And I contacted the BBC, which was tricky in those days. This was before Google or emails. I had to find someone and phone them up, and spoke to someone whose name I can't remember at the BBC, and explained what we wanted to do. We wanted to do a Doctor Who play that was, only be on for 3 or 4 performances in a small venue and non-profit. Can we do that? And he said, "I don't see why not. I'll send you a thingy as long as you're not going to do anything else with it." Or I said, "No, we just want to do it." And so, oh great, we got permission, hurrah! And I think I'd started writing a Doctor Who script just for the hell of it, because this was when I was very young and very raw. I just used to write scripts because I enjoyed it. Don't so much now. I do enjoy it, but I don't just write them for the fun of it. I do other things for the fun of it now. I thought, well, I've got some of that. I'll see if I can twist that round. And that was just a big script, and it had Daleks in it and everything. I knew he wouldn't get permission for those, or presumably wouldn't. And so I converted what I'd written into a new story, and for some reason I thought of the title The Planet of Storms, which I subsequently found out was actually the title of a story that didn't make it, but it was sheer coincidence. And so I wrote the script called Planet of Storms, and we did it in October 1996, and that was the first time I played the Doctor. It was a little bit Graham Williams-esque, I'll be honest. It was quite funny, but it was a good run-around romp. It was set on a space station orbiting Jupiter, which is the planet of storms. Oh, that's where the title came from. That's right, yes. Jupiter is a planet covered in storms. And I used the terrible Zodin as the villain, whom my wife played. She's good at playing baddies, because she's tall and looks good in boots. That sort of thing. And yeah, it was good fun. And I had a fabulously sexy assistant, and everything, and some good villains, and we had some gold aliens called the Pertinax, who are a bit like samurai Viking type things. They worked quite well, and people enjoyed it. And yeah, so that's how it all started. Planet of the Storm, obviously it was the first time I played the Doctor, and I don't know, I was actually inspired by anyone, because I wrote the script with just a generic doctorish character in mind, um, and I just did it instinctively, and it seemed to work. Um, Patrick Troughton has always been my favourite Doctor, and I suspect always will be. So I was leaning towards a Troughton-esque style, a little bit scruffy, a little bit funny, a little bit impish and runny roundy. So it was quite different to how I've done it since. So Troughton inspired me because I think he. I've often said this, but he was born to play the Doctor in the same way that Arthur Lowe was born to play Captain Mainwaring. It was the perfect marrying of actor and part, I think. And just, you know, the way he played the Doctor with his wonderful creased face and his apparent clownishness, but he had that authority with him as well. It was just perfect, really. So he kind of influenced me. I didn't copy him at all. But that sort of approach to a Doctor was quite inspiring at the time, and it fitted the style of the show, which was quite a run-aroundy show. It wasn't particularly in-depth or serious. It was a romp in a sort of robot type mould. So yeah, I mean, other actors have influenced me in what I do, not just the Doctor, but other things. Peter Cushing is my favourite actor of all time. His acting style is very different to mine. He was wonderfully precise, and I love precise precision acting, but I can't quite do it myself. I'm much more instinctive. But you know, his precision and the way he does things, I've loved. Not that it influenced it, but you know, I find that sort of thing quite inspiring.